Does Germany, France or Sweden, or should I say China, make the best luxury electric SUV? Let's find out. The DS No8 starts from £51,000, the Polestar 4 starts from £58,000 and the Audi Q6 Sportback E-tron is the most expensive at £63,000. Sat in the interior though, you're more likely to think that the DS is the most expensive car of the trio. That's because the cabin offers something truly unique, with the X-shaped steering wheel and wraparound brushed aluminium trim. The quality of the materials is also exceptional. The seats are heated, cooled, massaging and even have neck warmers in them. The 16-inch infotainment screen is very wide but not excessively tall, and it's pretty snappy to inputs as well. There is also a head-up display to project information, as well as some separated controls from the main infotainment screen. The Polestar 4 is by far the most minimalist interior design of the trio. Personally, I prefer the aesthetic of the DS, but I do prefer this Polestar interior design to what you find in Teslas. All interior functions rely solely on a touchscreen, so it's fortunate that the system is quick to respond to inputs and also easy to navigate. Unfortunately, the screen is located quite far from the driver, and they do provide a rotary dial in the centre console, but that only controls the volume rather than functions like climate control. Interior quality is very good, but there is far less material variety than in the DS. On the plus side, the seats are very comfy and supportive and can also massage, cool and heat you. By far the worst interior of the three is the Audi's. The design is far more cluttered than the Polestar's and far blander than the DS. The infotainment system isn't as swift as in the Polestar and the huge bezels are super unsightly. The second screen for the passenger is also a pointless addition, but if you don't opt for it, you'll instead get a massive slab of black plastic there instead. Interior quality is poor, with cheap feeling plastics and a few rattles here and there. Perhaps the most awful cost-saving measure though is the fact that the seats are manually operated. Honestly, the interior in this car is bad enough to be a deal breaker. In terms of rear seat space, the DS is the worst, with tight headroom and legroom, while the Polestar is the most generous. The Audi sits somewhere between the two. The caveat to the Polestar though is the great rear space has been achieved by removing the rear window glass. This means for the rear view mirror you rely on a digital feed, which doesn't give you quite the same depth perception. The Polestar 4 has 526 litres of boot space, the DS has 560 litres and the Audi has 511 litres. All of these boots then should be big enough for most people's needs. Both the Audi and the Polestar also have front boots, which are ideal for charging cables. Let's talk specs. For the purpose of this comparison, I'm going to compare the longest range versions of each of these cars. In the performance variation, the Audi has a 100 kWh battery and a 225 kW electric motor. This combination is good for 0 to 60 in 6.5 seconds and a 391 mile range. The Polestar has a 100 kWh battery and a 200 kW electric motor. This propels the car from 0 to 60 in 6.9 seconds and gives it a 385 mile range. Both the Audi and the Polestar therefore have very similar statistics. The DS uses a 97 kWh battery and a 206 kW electric motor. This gives it a 0 to 60 of 7.7 seconds and a range of 442 miles. So although the DS is quite a bit slower, it does offer a considerably higher range. Given the fact it also has the smallest battery, the DS should prove to be a lot more efficient and cheaper to run than the other two cars. If you want more punch, all of these cars also have more powerful variants available at the expense of some range. I could go into depth about how each of these cars drive, but I'm going to keep it short and sweet. If you want the comfiest option, the DS is the way to go. If you want the sportiest option, the Polestar is the way to go. And if you want elements of both, the Audi is the best at that. It's worth pointing out that the Audi can be opted with air suspension, which does a good job of making a car feel a lot more expensive and sophisticated. While the DS on the second trim and higher also has an active scan suspension. The final thing to cover is the styling. I think the Audi is the most imposing of the trio, with the high bonnet and wider wheel arches. I like the way it goes under the radar, but also looks quite sophisticated. The design of the DS is quite a bit different to your average coupe SUV. From the side profile, it looks a bit like a luxury yacht, but it is nonetheless a cohesive design from the front to the back. I think the Polestar is the ugliest. The front of the car looks more like a low-slung saloon car, while the back of the car is weirdly tall, not helped by the absence of a rear window. There aren't really any other design details either, so it does look like a slab of nothing. Overall, the DS No8 is the best option here. The interior is absolutely gorgeous, the range is very strong, and the ride refinement is great. Somehow they've also been able to undercut the Audi and the Polestar by almost £10,000 as well. Not too long ago, buying a French luxury car was the obscure choice made by people who want to stand out. This time around though, you can still stand out, but you can also be in the knowledge that you bought the best car in the class as well. In my eyes, that's a win-win.